Yeah. I'm here. I'm signing back in on y'all, man. You know what? Let's revisit the Spence and Crawford. Here we is, what, 2 years later? Let's revisit this thing, man. You know, sometimes you gotta back up and punt. Fourth down, we gotta punt. So we done punted. Okay. This Spence and Crawford thing, my final take on it now after we done seen it and everything, everything done marinated in. So let's talk about it. And like I said, I know a lot of people ain't gonna agree because you got some people out there, they what they call a cheapskate. That means that they'll take a win either way they can get one. They don't care long as they get the win. They don't care how they did it. You got some people that will fight a man in a wheelchair and beat him and then celebrate like you done fought a man that's not in a wheelchair. Come on now, you just beat a man up. You take a person, you got some people that'll fight a man with no arms and no legs and beat him up and they'll celebrate just like they fought a regular man. But anyway, let's get to it. Okay. They'll tell you what happened on this Spence and Crawford fight. Spence went into the fight to give us, the crowd, what we want to see. Okay. He laid it on the line to give us what we want to see. So that man lost that fight for us. And see, people should appreciate him for losing that fight for us. And I'm going to break this down to you and show you what I mean by he lost that fight for us. It's because of the buildup of the fight. It's because of the fight that everybody wanted to see. So Spence said, I'm going to give these people what they want to see. They want to see a war. This fight done built up to be a war, okay? If this fight wasn't built up to be a war, it would have took place long time ago. Okay, then it just would have been a tick for tack fight. But no, Spence knows that he is a war fighter. So Crawford, you going to step up to fight me, that means you want to go to war. And the build up of the fight, we got to go to war, buddy. That means we're going to meet up in the center of the ring and we're going to lay it on the line. We're going to hammer it out in the center of the ring. It ain't going to be no dancing around. It ain't going to be no running. It ain't going to be no boxing. We going in there. We going to lay it down. We finna go to war. So that's what Spence was prepared to give us. but Crawford, he didn't want to go to war. No, you want to use your smartness to beat him. So therefore, you wouldn't care about getting the crowd what we want to see. So you had to figure out a smart way to beat him. You capitalize off of his mistakes. Spence wasn't looking for that type of fight. He was looking for the type of fight, man, we going in here and slug it out. It don't matter about nothing, no mistakes. No, we ain't looking at none of that. We ain't looking at no running. We ain't looking at no boxing. We going in here and lay it on the line. That's what this going to be. This is what this got to be. Everybody want to see Crawford versus Spence. Everybody been waiting on this. So I'm not going to disappoint the crowd. I'm going in there and lay it on the line. Now, yeah, Spence could have easily studied Crawford and looked at some mistakes that he do, because they say there ain't no boxer that ever step in the ring that don't have 5 or 6 mistakes that they do that people can capitalize on. So every boxer got mistakes, but Spence didn't look at nothing about Crawford. He wasn't paying nothing attention because he knew we going to war. But no, Crawford on the other hand had a different plan. He didn't want to go to war, and like I say, he know he couldn't have won if he would have went to war with Spence. Because that's what type of fighter Spence is, a war fighter. He ain't no boxer. He ain't no smart and capitalizing. Spence go in there and go straight at you and hammer it out. So at the end of the day, if you want to fight me, then apparently you want to go to war. And being that that's the type of fight this have built up to be, it's got to be a war. We can't go in there and make a boring fight. This going to ruin my reputation, and it's going to ruin your reputation. If we have a fight built up this high and we go in there and don't give no good fight, come on, bro. We gotta get them their money worth. So that's what Spence tried to do. So I give that man all the credit in the world. A lot of people just look at, Crawford did this, Crawford did that. Okay, but you don't understand the concept. Spence lost this fight trying to satisfy the crowd. He trying to give you your money worth. He trying to satisfy you, and the man got beat. All along, Crawford didn't have no plans on satisfying you. He had a plan that he wanted to capitalize off Spence's mistakes and beat him. So it's like I say, one man was looking to satisfy us, and the other man could care less about you. All he want to do is try to get a win. Sure, Spence make plenty of mistakes, but at the end of the day, he ain't gonna jump in the ring with somebody that looking for his mistakes. He fight people that want to go to war. He fight people that want to go to war. But Crawford, you pretend that you wanted to go to war, but you didn't. You helped build the fight up like everybody thought it was going to be a war, but no, you got in there, you capitalized on off of Spence's mistakes. You easily, every time Spence was off balance because his leg was 10 miles apart. You got your leg that far apart when you boxing. All you got to do is touch you one time on the chin, you're going down. That's because you off balance. So, like I say, Spence, as you can see, every time Crawford knocked Spence down, look at how far apart his legs was. He was off balance, because he basically stepped into a world of that wasn't like he thought it was gonna be. He thought we were gonna go to war. It was like Spence was like, darn man, what I got myself into? I thought this dude was gonna go to war with me. He been talking all this noise. I thought he want to go to war, but yet still he's standing back boxing and he's standing back capitalizing all mistakes I made. So you know what I'm saying, Crawford, you didn't beat, like I say, anytime two boxers step in the ring, the fight's gonna go the way whichever one start the fight off. If one start the fight off brawling, then it's going to be a brawl match. If one start the fight off doing his little smart, being smart and capitalize off the other mistakes, then that's the way the fight going to go. Because like I say, whoever get off first with their game plan, that's the way the fight going to go. You see, Spence came in there to be Spence. But Crawford, every time he catch Spence off balance, he'll capitalize. Bam, bam, he'll hurt me, hit him. You see what I'm saying? So Spence wasn't ready for that type of fight. That's all. Just because Crawford beat him, do that mean Crawford the best? No, because Crawford beat him at his game. See, you're not the best until you beat a person at their game. No, you played your game to win that fight. Your game plan was to catch Spence off guard, to catch him. To catch him off balance. Because you've seen a lot of film where Spence was off balance, and you got dummies in the ring to practice that, and you practiced it, and you capitalize. Now you see what you can do to beat Spence. So that's at your game. But you ain't the best until you beat him at his game. Let's see you get in there and brawl with Spence, like Spence fighting. Now, if you beat him in that, you the best. But see, there ain't no way in hell you could beat Spence in a brawl match like what Spence fight. If you fight Spence at his fight, and you'll be the best, but there ain't no way you could beat Spence fighting him at his fight. The only way you beat Spence is that you beat him at your game. You just outsmarted him. Okay? One would say, well, that's what he's supposed to do. That's what he's supposed to do. Yeah. You are. But at the end of the day, it depends on if it's that type of fight. It ain't that. This wasn't that type of fight. This was the type of fight that, no, buddy, you talking in North, everybody in the world want to see this. We're going to brawl it out. We're going to step in the middle of the ring and brawl this thing out. That's what Spence was trying to do. But no, Crawford, you got another game plan. You don't want to brawl. You didn't want to brawl with Spence. You just stand back and box what you done. But you stepped in the ring with a brawler and made him think you want to brawl with him. All along, you tricked him. You tricked Spence. So I'm pretty sure Spence might not would have even got in the ring with you if he know that you're going to be this type of fighter. You're going to run and box and wait till he make mistakes. If he knew you were going to be that type of fighter against him, Spence probably wouldn't even took the fight. But Spence took the fight because, Crawford talked all this noise, like he going to do this and he'll do this. So he made Spence think, yeah, this nigga want to brawl with me. So that's why Spence went ahead and signed the fight. But like I say, you got cheapskate people, they'll take a win either way they can. Even though I just broke this down to you plain and clear, This is what happened. This is how he beat him. Some people will still say, oh, no, he just beat him, this, and that. They got something to say, man, there ain't nothing you can say because I just broke this down to you. And that trainer, Derrick James, which is overrated, I heard him and Spence had some issues about the money or something. He trying to sue Spence or whatever. If I was Spence, I wouldn't pay him nothing either because he's overrated. His fighters get knocked down. He cannot talk you. That's his job to get you back in that fight. So why couldn't you get Spence back in that fight? You overrated. Ryan Garcia, he got knocked down by Rolly. Why come Derrick James couldn't get him back in that fight? Dude, you overrated. And like I say, I don't know, I don't see nothing you're doing anyway. But you take somebody like him, anybody that got a lot of money, man, they don't care about you. They only care about that money, bro. And like I say, it's hard to find somebody that's true. And when big money come into play, nobody that cares about you. All they do is money overcome everything that's in them. Money overcome everything that's in there. Now, Derrick James doing the Spence fight, you can tell Spence wasn't, like I said, Spence wasn't planning on no boxing match. He was planning on a brawler match. Because like I say, Spence wasn't doing nothing no different doing training camp. It's like, seemed like he would be doing some, different stuff. But he still had his kids there, walking around, playing around, rolling around with your kids on the mat. You ain't supposed to have your kid up in your training camp. Dude, this is where you supposed to be separated from your family and get focused on the fight. You fighting Terrence Crawford. You ain't supposed to have your kids all up in there. But look at that. Did Derrick James say anything to Spence about it? No, he ain't said nothing about it. He didn't care. All he wanted is your money. Now, if that been me training Spence, first thing I would have told him, look, man, you need to send your kid home. This is a training camp. Now, we fighting the biggest fight of your career, and you got your kids here, and you playing around on the mat with your kids. Dude, this ain't the place for that. You need to tell your wife or your girlfriend to come and get your kids. This is a training camp. Do you think Derrick James told him that? No. Know why? He can care less. He didn't care if he win or lose. He just wanted the payday. That dude overrated, man. And I don't know why y'all folks don't stop fooling with this dude. But anyway, I'm him signing out.